Imagine being a pastor and you're about ready to do a funeral for one of the loved persons in your congregation. And before the services begin, you're usually meditating and preparing for that moment. And lo and behold, the attorney that's handling that person's estate comes forward and requests to speak to me and a person from the finance committee. Well, prior to the service, we all gathered in a circle up front, and the attorney proceeded to tell us that we have been willed over $200,000 to be used for the ministry in Jesus Christ in Madisonburg United Methodist Church. Quite a surprise coming from a small congregation. Well, we were very overjoyed that day. In fact, I was overjoyed and I was tearful because the joy was flowing so much. But because of that gift, we were able to sit down as a congregation or administrative board and trustee committee and talk about how we're going to use these gifts for ministry. And during our first few months of the process, we talked to different representatives from different financial institutions trying to decide how to best invest these funds. Finally, we had Phyllis come and talk to us along with Steve Faust, and talk to us about how we might be able to invest that. Now, why would we invest with a stewardship foundation? Why would we do that as a congregation? That is the questions that usually come to a pastor. Well, number one, it fits in our larger vision to make disciples for Jesus Christ. That way, this entire process can be part of the disciple-making process as we pray and discern how to best use God's money. Secondly, it also provides for others who are part of our church so that that money that is received for the Stewardship Foundation can be used for educational opportunities in the future. How did this work? Well, let me share with you that being my first appointment, this is my first appointment in Madisonburg United Methodist Church, I have to say that it was a little bit, there was a little bit of anxiety associated with this because I've never handled anything like this before. And it was a very new process. So what we did was Phyllis made herself very much available to us, her and Steve Faust both. And in fact, they were so available to us, I could simply call them from a finance meeting, and I could actually put them on speakerphone as we conferred with one another. The thing is, Phyllis and the board really do care about our investments because it's investment into disciple making. And also they care about us because we're all part of a great big church called the United Methodist Church. And in that we grow disciples together. So it's wonderful to be able to build that bridge. Now, of course, when you live in rural America, especially in central Pennsylvania, there's sometimes trust issues, being secluded from the rest of the conference. However, this has been very much a bridge building process for us as we have been able to come together and further learn how we can make disciples for Jesus Christ. Certainly there were opportunities to write documents and things that was very new to me, and I had to consult with her, and she was right there. She was right there for me. The other benefit was we did not need to invest in legal fees to have the documents signed and authorized and things like that. So that is the other blessing. Now, what has come out of this is we are a stronger church today because of this, and this will endow our future of Madisonburg United Methodist Church as we come together to make disciples. And we are actually, this lady was a teacher, so in response to this, we have been able to create an educational fund that will continue to make disciples for not only our students in seminary, but also for our laity as they go together and learn about lay programs within the church, such as lay speaking or Leadership University, whatever that may be.
Hi there, this is Betsy Schwarzentraub. I'm Director of Stewardship for the General Board of Discipleship for the United Methodist Church. For many years I've been passionate about stewardship, or what I prefer now to call extravagant generosity, because it has to do with lifelong learning and maturing in how we live with what God has entrusted to us, what we do as we share and use and distribute what God has given to us. So yes, this includes money. It also includes everything else about our personal lives that God has entrusted to us in who we are and what we have. And it also includes our congregational stewardship, becoming more and more generous stewards of God's gifts. I have been delighted to be a participant in the Stewardship Academy, sponsored by the United Methodist Stewardship Foundation of Susquehanna Conference, and Wayne Barrett was the principal leader in this session too.
Yes, thanks, Betsy. I'm Wayne Barrett, and for the last 30 years I've been president and executive director of the United Methodist Foundation of Michigan. And in that setting, I've been privileged to travel around this United Methodist Church of ours, presenting stewardship education opportunities around the country, and particularly here, the Stewardship Academy here at the Susquehanna Conference. We've enjoyed it. We've completed 2 tracks of our 6-track program, and we've looking forward to coming back in the fall, October of 2011, to do it one more time. The Stewardship Academy is designed to be a relatively simple but comprehensive exploration of stewardship theology, stewardship practice, and stewardship ideas that can bring vitality to any congregation that tries, no matter how small or how large. And we've been blessed here this weekend with churches of all different sizes and styles here participating in the Stewardship Academy.
There are some great resources for local churches and local church leaders. In particular, the United Methodist Stewardship Foundation of the Susquehanna Conference, who have sponsored this 3-part event this year, and year-round, who provide all kinds of resources. Wayne?
Yeah, it's great to have a place like the Stewardship Foundation here in Susquehanna. Under Phyllis Bowers and her staff, they provide great resourcing. Every congregation in the conference is blessed to have that opportunity. You can get print resources, electronic resources, someone who will actually come to your congregation to resource events and help you interpret the stewardship work that we're all called to do. I endorse wholeheartedly the work of the Stewardship Foundation of the Susquehanna Conference.